This is Peter Walsh with M&R.
Scott Ritter with the Decorated Apparel Expo.
This is Ben Landesman with Lawson Screen and Digital Products.
This is Deborah Sexton.
And you're listening to the Two Regular Guys
Podcast.
Hosted by Terry Combs
And Aaron Montgomery.
All right. Well, welcome to the show. It is Friday, June 18th, 2021. I'm Terry Combs, and you can find me at terrycombs.com.
And I'm Aaron Montgomery, and you can find me at Our Success Group. Okay. Pretty obvious I'm not Aaron Montgomery. I'm Jay Busselle, and I'm jacked up to be sitting in for Aaron today. And you can find me at LinkedIn or at jbusselle.com. Today, Terry and I will be talking about branding. Imagine that, branding your company and branding you.
All right. That's going to be exciting. And thanks for sitting in for Aaron. Aaron is in Mexico right now. And I'm going to do one of the things that he usually does and say good morning to a few folks. Chuck says, good morning, gentlemen. Cindy, good morning. Christine, good morning. Jay and Terry, happy Friday. And we've been debating this. It's Justa, correct? Or is it Gusta?
No, I think we're going with the G is a little silent and it's Josta.
We'll go with that. It's he never clarifies or complains. So, but hello to Sweden.
Hello to everyone in Sweden. How about that? Cover them all.
And Kim Johnson says two of the coolest guys. Super excited to watch today. Todd says tacos and wings, and Chuck says also good morning to Eric as well. So I feel like this is a little deja vu, Jay. I mean, don't you feel like we did this maybe, I don't know, yesterday?
Maybe 12 hours ago? I don't know.
Exactly. Jay and I were, and Roy Huseman did a webinar for Equipment Zone yesterday. And so we
tend to do a few of those if folks don't know, but yes, we were in our element with more webinars.
Exactly right. So, well, let's do a couple of news items, Jay, real quick. So I'm going to start. Aaron's news item is Our Success Group puts focus on business planning in the next webinar titled "Why You Must Have a Business Plan to Survive." The session will take place June 23rd at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, or for Aaron, 4 p.m. Center of the Universe Central Time. And it focuses on why business owners need a business plan to make it in the industry. Hosts will look at the key area businesses need to look for when doing their business plan and how to make a plan work regardless of the size of your business. And I think Eric is putting up the website where you can go to do that. It is oursuccessgroup.com/survive. And we'll have that up on our website as well. Jay, do you have a news item for us?
I do. I'm excited to tell you a little bit about Shutterfly. For those of you who don't know Shutterfly, they are like Snapfish, one of these online retailers that personalizes products. And Shutterfly acquired Spoonflower, another personalized products retailer, and Spoonflower has dedicated most of their energy to wallpaper, fabrics, linens, and other home decor, soft goods like that. And so Shutterfly completed that agreement recently for approximately, get this drum roll, but $225 million. So the terms of the details were not discussed, Terry. However, I'm sure it involves some legal and some money and whatnot, blah, blah, blah. You can read more at Graphics Pro Magazine. Hopefully Eric knows what he's doing, because I definitely don't. And he's going to flash a link to the Graphics Pro Magazine where we found that news.
And that has to come, Jay, with one of those big giant checks, right? Like they give you for winning a golf tournament.
Yes. It's like, can I take this to the bank? I've always wanted to do that.
Yeah, I signed the back.
It's endorsed.
Exactly. All
Turn
right,
it over, have a big giant pen. Is that what you would do? That you know?
Yeah, it's a two-hander. It's like churning milk. But hey, it's time for dad joke. You ready?
Yes, I am ready. I'm fired up.
This dad joke comes from Missy, and Missy last name is Lossie, I believe. Missy Lossie. I could be wrong on that because obviously,
according to Aaron, that's how you would say it, and he's always wrong. So
yeah. So here we are.
Sorry.
All right. Here's the dad joke. You ready?
Yes.
What do dentists call X-rays? Do you know, Jay?
Terry, I do not know what dentists call x-rays.
They call them toothpicks. But I love it.
No. Why don't they just call them x-rays?
I think we're in the wrong generation.
Toothpicks is funnier.
Yeah, it is funnier. All right. Hey, Jay, before we go any further, we want to thank everyone for checking out the Two Regular Guys podcast. We are always looking for new guests or guest hosts. And if you or anyone you know would like to join us, you can go to calendly.com/2 regular guys with your show ideas. If you are listening to the podcast version of the show, we would appreciate you sharing the Two Regular Guys with your industry friends so they can become regulators too. And we would appreciate you giving us a review. This is really important to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Amazon Podcasts, or wherever it is that you do your podcast listening. And if you're watching us live right now, please join in with your comments and questions. We're going to have a great show today. Reach out to your industry friends and have them join us as well. So, Jay.
Terry.
Let's talk branding, man.
Can I share something? Look at this. Look at this little guy. Somebody sent me this. Do you see what it is?
Is it a piñata?
Yes, it's a tiny piñata taco.
There's like little candy tacos inside of that, I'll bet.
Little salsa, little cheese, a little sour cream, and some meat at the bottom.
Well, for anybody who doesn't know, and most people do know Jay in the industry, he is the chief taco officer, as it says there under his name. So
that's right. I'm the CTO. Don't mess with it.
All right. Well, it is time to talk about branding, and the topic of branding and tacos comes up almost in every discussion we have with you, Jay. So, it's so important to folks in our industry.
Well, it is. It's a topic that obviously I do speak on. I talk a lot about. It's just something that naturally I was attracted to. I was just the passion of marketing and branding and polishing up your business. Now, I do want to tip my cap, and I am wearing one, to Aaron and Todd, because I know they're doing a lot of work with things like business plans. And these are sometimes called professional broccoli. It's the things we don't like to eat, but we know we have to. So branding is something that a lot of folks in our industry with our own businesses, even though we're kind of an offshoot of marketing and advertising and branding, we kind of ignore sometimes, right? And so I just think I'm lucky, Terry. I just think it's just fun that I can be involved and still be myself, not be taken too seriously. But I hope there are those that will trust the fact. And Terry, you've seen small glimmers of some of the experiences that we've been able to create at like Equipment Zone and other places. So I'm not always goofy. I'm not always stuffing tacos down my face. Sometimes I'm actually focused and I get work done.
Well, I'm going to recommend everybody buckle their seatbelts. I've done presentations with you many, many times, Jay, and it's it's always exciting.
Good times, my brother.
Good times. Well, hey, so I'm sure some people think they know what branding is, or maybe they don't. So what is your definition of branding?
I thought you'd never ask, Terry. Listen, it sounds like we have the opportunity. Now, I think it was about a year ago, I was on your show with Aaron, and we talked about a book or a guide I had recently completed called The Style Guide. And we talked about this definition. And so I can tell you this for sure. Branding is not easy. And a lot of us get it wrong. And so with that having been said, a lot of smart people share a lot of great opinions and a lot of great training and definitions. But here's mine. And this is what I've kind of distilled this down to after about 20, let's just say 20 plus years. Your brand is not your logo. So let me start with what it's not. Your brand is not your logo. It's not what you do, and it's not your product. So if you take those away, then what are you left with? And I know for some people that's hard. They're like, well, I thought it was all about my logo. I thought it was all about what I do. I'm a decorator, man. And nobody can heat press these t-shirts like me, and nobody can sew like me, and nobody can scream from, I'm the only one that has this rock automatic. So that's not true. So it's not your logo. It's not what you do, and it's not your product. What it is your brand is your style. Your brand is the promise or purpose. And your brand, really, Terry, your brand is how you make me feel. So I kind of came up with this little acronym to remember it by, and I stole it from somebody else. You know, the sunscreen folks have an SPF, a sun protection factor. You've heard of this, right, Terry?
Yes, we both live in Phoenix, so yeah.
We're currently lathering the SPF 5000 on right now because it's going to be like 2,500 degrees outside. So SPF, I remember it this way: style, promise, feel. That's what your brand is. So remember the acronym SPF, your branding. And when you focus on branding for yourself or for your customers, remember the style, remember the promise or the purpose, and remember how you make people feel. How is that feeling? What is that environment like? That's what I say. I know it's a long answer, but that's how I say it.
Well, Jay, and I think a lot of people are surprised when you say it's not your logo, et cetera. And because I think the majority of people that's when they think of branding, that's where they go first. But when you talk about style, Jay, can you explain that a little bit more?
Yeah, for sure. And you're right. People do kind of hyper focus on the logo. And I think it's because it's what they know and it's what they can kind of get their hands around. But like the professional broccoli I was talking about, the hard work is kind of figuring out this style part. And the style I'll put it to you this way. And I actually looked this up last night. So for you dictionary nerds, here's the dictionary definition: a distinctive appearance typically determined by the principles according to which something was designed. So a couple of key words in there: a distinctive appearance. So Terry, you and I have that. We qualify, right?
we do, Jay.
A distinctive appearance that had something to do with a purpose. It was designed that way. So let's put the dictionary, definition aside for a second, and let's put it to you this way. I'm going to give you, Terry, a set of words, like an either or. You're either this or you're that. So for example, Terry, you're either playful and lighthearted or you're serious and sober, right?
I think all of our listeners can answer that about me.
I think they know, right? Yeah. Terry is sober and serious. No, of course not. So playful and lighthearted, right? So we could continue that list down, and there's lots of comparisons like that, but it helps people. And you know what? Graphic designers do this all the time, actually, when they're working on logos, because they're trying to pull the feelings and the style into that logo. So interestingly enough, I thought you'd like to know that. So let's go back to like the style thing, like doing the comparison. So are you more economical and affordable, or are you luxury and lavish? So you can see we're kind of pulling at both ends of that stick. And I'm purposely doing that when I set up workshops or when I talk to people about this, so that they can get a better feel. And if they have to pick one, which would they pick? So let me give you a couple more, Terry. Terry, are you more vintage and classic, or are you modern and contemporary?
I think I'm certainly more classic, Jay.
I like Terry Combs, the classic edition. And you know what? My kids say, Dad, vintage is just old.
It's like industry veteran,
Yes, a seasoned industry veteran. Okay, so if we said, how about this? How about we get away from those words and let's talk about kind of things like, okay, so are you rock and roll, or are you hip hop? Are you country? Or are you classical? Yeah, well, right. And so if you look at it this way, you can start to define that style. And you really, other ways to think about this might be your vibe, right? We hear that word a little bit, how you vibe. Your personality maybe is another great way to kind of think about this and frame this. So Terry, you might be more of a truck guy and I might be more of a sedan guy, or vice versa. You might be an SUV and I might be a minivan. Definitely not. I'm the SUV guy. But these are just ways to kind of figure out the character, figure out the identity. And so last one I'll use is like, are you a muscle car V8 dude, or are you a sleek electric Tesla guy? And there's no wrong. There's no right. It's just preference. It's just style. It's just personality and character. So I think it's important that we can look at it this way and frame it that way. And in my opinion, it's critical to think about this both from yourself personally and then into your business. Because the truth is this: if you're a small business owner, and most of the listeners are, by small, I mean like less than 25 employees, or if you're a solo entrepreneur, this is super true, then whatever you are, that personality, that character, that identity, it completely washes into your business. It just does. And if you think it doesn't, I'm here to tell you on the Two Regular Guys podcast, you're wrong. Sorry. Because you're a small business owner. You're into sales, right? You're into marketing. By the way, you're also into bookkeeping. You're also the production guy. You're also the janitorial gal. You're in this, and you're taking care of that, and you're taking care of that. You're everything. So how is it possible that your personality and your style wouldn't also be in everything? I mean, does that make sense, Terry, or am I off?
You're absolutely correct. I mean, your business is a reflection of you and your personality. The way you manage your company is a reflection of the owner, of the manager.
And I think we know this, obviously. I'm not breaking any new ground here, but to be more clear, if your style and if your personality and your identity is serious, sober, calm, calculated, mature, etc., then guess what? So is your business. And if you pretend, like, let's say that's really you. You're the sober, serious, calm, super calculated, very planned out, very organized, which is great. Nothing wrong with that. Super great. Okay. But then if you pretend to be this playful, fun, loud, rock and roll, rockabilly risk taker, it's not going to work.
Right. No one's going to believe you.
No one believes you. Complete friction. And it's not authentic. And people smell it from a mile away. And they're just like, no, something's wrong here. I don't trust this. This doesn't feel right. And so buyers are most likely to
trust you. When you say you're talking, maybe you're serious and sober, you're talking to garment decorators, right?
Hey, I've met some super serious, nerdy garment decorators, but you're right. They're pretty playful. Yeah, turn up the music. Turn it up to 11, right?
Right.
Well,
needs more cowbell.
I just want. Yeah, it needs more. It needs more taco, is what it needs. So, think of it this way. It just. I want people to avoid the disconnect. I want people to avoid that misfire. And buyers. I heard this recently, and I'm going to forever steal this and make it my own. We can only build relationships at the speed of trust. So we can't pretend to be something we're not, because it creates that friction and distrust. So anyway, so you asked me the question. Now let me turn it back on you, Mr. Combs. This is more of a discussion. Okay. This isn't just about me. You've got something to share here, right? Of course.
I'm sure I do. What's your question? I hope I do.
I know you do. So have you ever heard of the term or the phrase brand manifesto?
Okay, my first image in my brain is Unabomber. So
that's not positive. That's not positive at all.
Manifesto. That's my first. That's my go-to, Unabomber. But no, I don't think I have heard of brand manifesto, Jay.
Well, I want you to forever think of it in a positive way and disassociate from the bomber, the Unabomber. Terry, thanks a lot. Because I
think you have to bring everybody back up again.
Yeah, right. Thanks, man. Okay, now let's. Okay, last time I asked you an important question, so I think it's super cool, and I think that it sounds cool. I think that it's like this mooey macho manifesto, right? If you're fun and playful, but it's really a public declaration, okay? And if you think of it this way, it's your purpose, it's your why. It's a fancy, fun way to say this is what we stand for. Like Terry, back in the 70s when you were managing shops, you probably
college.
I had to take a shot. But when you guys were serious about, building a business in the 80s and 90s, we probably would have called it a mission statement or something like that.
Right.
I just want to put it in fun apparel decorator terms and call it a macho manifesto. So it is that declaration. It's what you stand for. It's tell me why you're in business. We've heard a lot about the word story over the past 3 years. And thank goodness Donald Miller authored an amazing book called Story Brand, which I recommend to everybody. You should go read that. If you're a small business owner or if you're in sales or marketing, you need to read that book. But a manifesto to me is kind of like my story condensed down to maybe 2 or 3 paragraphs. And it could be written. It could be graphical kind of in nature. It could be both. It could even be a video, Terry. But a manifesto is kind of that. Usually it's turned towards us. It's turned towards me and my staff. It's something that we would recognize. It's something that we talk about. And so I just think it's fun because if I were the business owner, I would want to make it playful. I would want to make it a little sassy, a little snarky, but with my purpose. Like, why are we even doing this? And I think with branding, if we could tie this together, when you start from that point, everything else gets better. Everything else is more clear. And so I just wanted to say that if you could share your manifesto with your team and make sure they're clear on it, make sure they get it, make sure they understand this is why we do what we do. This is who we are. This is what we stand for. Then they're going to be that much more prepared when they do face they turn it outward and they face buyers, prospects, and customers and whatnot. So I have if you want to see one that I've used it in my style guide, I've used it in their training, and maybe I'm sorry that the listeners won't be able to see this, but I bet Eric with his wizardry could flash it on the screen right now. Look at that.
And
he has. Less is more. Houston, we've got a problem. It's a gimme world. This is super cool. This is like simpleshoes.com, had this. I saw it online and I said, I have to share this. This is brilliant. Let's tweak the definition of wealth and let's accumulate some good karma. So what they're basically doing is they're telling people that they're taking a stand against the shenanigans of excess. They want to keep it real. They want to keep it simple. That's where their branding starts from. And I think more people need to kind of focus there. And that's why I say, distill it down, boil it down, edit, get to 2 paragraphs, make it fun, make it whimsical, make it graphical if you want. And then once you're pretty settled in on that, I would even highly recommend you make a video, like pretend you're an ad agency and you're going to explain to the world your manifesto, right? Without the bomb, Terry.
Well, I think everybody in our audience here should work on their manifesto. And yes, it should be graphical. We are decorators, but I think it's such a cool thing that you've said that you should share this with your staff, because so few people talk to it, especially once they get a large group of employees. They don't take that time to buy pizza and sit around to talk about, here's why we do what we do. Here is who we are as a company, and Kim Johnson made a laughing symbol there with the 70s. But you know what? In the 70s, and I've said this on the show before, I was a screen printer, and that person was an embroiderer. That person was this, and that person was that. And a lot of times we didn't talk about any more than that. So doing your manifesto, and as I said, I'm with you. Everybody should work on that this weekend. I'm going to work on mine this weekend, Jay.
There it is. There's the challenge. Terry has thrown it down. He has challenged you to take some time this weekend and work on your manifesto. I tell you what, Terry, I love it. I love that idea so much. I'm going to break all the rules. I'm going to create a little incentive right now, a little inspiration.
All right.
To help folks with this task that you've given them, this new homework assignment. I don't know how we're going to do this yet. So I'm going to trust that Aaron, in his majestic marketing prowess, the way he works websites and all the stuff that he does, I'm going to trust that he could figure this out. To the first 3 listeners or viewers, to the first 3 listeners who send you or Aaron a completed manifesto, I will be happy. I would be thrilled to give those first 3 a style guide, one of my style guides. Yeah. And that way they can just have it. It's my gift for being on the show. It's my way of saying thank you to you and Aaron for the amazing work that you've done over the years. And if 3 people finish the manifesto, to the first 3, they get a copy. To everyone else who does it, because I want to open this up. I wish I could give everyone a free copy, but honestly, it's not the business I'm in. But I will give you a 50% discount through the end of June. So sorry to get kind of sales pitchy on you, but if you do this, there's a reward for you. So Aaron's a super geek and a super nerd. We'll figure this out on the website or something. You could use the keyword manifesto when we get to that point, check out or something. I don't know how that stuff works. That's all Aaron. But what do you think about that?
The email, I love it. The email address is info@2guys.com, and Eric has it up on the screen right now.
Sweet. Sorry to just pull that one right out of the taco. But, I thought that's just how I roll. A little inspiration, right?
That's very cool.
First 3, get a free one. Let's go for it. Why not? What have you got to lose? It's only going to be fun.
I think so too. It's a win that you've created it, and it's a double win that you get a little something for it.
Well, I worked on this over the last 3 years. I think, Terry, because I was asking you a ton of questions and I was asking you for a little bit of insight, and I asked Aaron, this is something I've always wanted to do. And I don't, if nobody buys it, okay, my mom and I were happy, and that's good enough for me, right? So, but when I finished that style guide, I talked to several people and they're like, this is really good. Like, this is super helpful. I wish I had something like this 10 years ago when I started my business, 5 years ago when I started my business. So if nothing else, I hope it is helpful. And I don't know, Eric, if you can flash it on the screen so people know what it looks like, but It does have a cover. It is 50 plus pages. There are several worksheets in there and that ask you tons and tons and tons of questions that you have to work on. You have to fill them out. So that's my gift. I hope somebody takes advantage of it. If nobody does, don't tell anybody, Terry.
Well, and it's just like when you were talking about business plan. Sometimes you have to do the work, but you're gonna gain so much from taking this time to do this work, and it's gonna make your business life so much easier if you set aside some time, do this kind of work, and then move forward with your business.
Totally agree. And keep in mind, Terry, most people know this, but it's a working document. It's something that your business is going to evolve. Like I talk to apparel decorators all the time, and I'm like, are you the same company now that you were 5 years ago when you started? And everyone's like, no. I mean, you probably have new equipment. You probably have new processes. You have new apparel decorating techniques, so things are constantly evolving. And so should your style guide and your branding. It just has to be done in a thoughtful, planned out way, and the style guide can help.
Jay, I'm going to compress that a little bit. Is your business the same today as it was 18 months ago?
Oh, good point. Right. I failed at the obvious. It was right in front of me and I didn't even see it. But yes. And I think that's something that we can focus on. Any business owner should focus on that. But you know what? Listen. I've been doing all the talking here, Terry. I think it's time that I ask you a couple of questions. Let's see what you know about branding, and you can share some of your wisdom to the audience, because I know you have a good take on this topic. Are you prepared? Are you ready?
I am ready, and it's usually my job to do all the talking, so this is pretty refreshing for me.
I want to flip it. Okay, well, that's true too. You and Aaron, though, you complement each other really well, actually. That's one of the fun things about the show. So let me ask you this. Terry Combs, who are some of your memorable brands? Who do you think of when you think of branding? Do you think of any memorable brands that are like fabulous in every way, as you would say?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And hoping to go undefeated this coming football season, the Kansas City Chiefs.
Of course, that's at the top of your list.
If I knew you were going to ask, I would have been wearing a jersey.
I'm surprised you're not. Well, we got a little time. But you know what I'm wearing?
All right, Suns.
Let's go. Phoenix Suns in the house. Suns have some great branding too. Okay. Enough of that. We know you're a KC super fan. You're a transplant and you live in Phoenix and you cheer for the wrong team, but that's okay. That's cool. You're all in. There's no changing back. There's no tune in the diff station now. So let's talk about this. Then maybe I could frame that better. How about a consumer brand? Do you have any brands that you really recognize as, kind of they have the wow factor? And it's something, I don't know, Apple, Samsung, Tesla, Microsoft, somebody.
Well, I'm going to go with, and I'm holding up my smartwatch. I'm going to go with Apple.
You're all in on Apple, right?
I am.
So for how long have you had an Apple phone, an iPhone?
Oh my gosh. Since the first one? How long has that been?
Was that 2007?
Probably
maybe?
so.
2008? I think that's when the first. We'll let E-Rich, our super rapper and producer, tell us. I don't remember, but I think it was 2007 or 2008 was when the Apple iPhone first came out, the first one.
Yeah, so, I was an early adapter.
So, and there's no turning back right now, right? There's no way I could sway you to Samsung. Okay, so you're all in on Apple. You're an Apple guy. You've always had the iPhone. I get it. Okay, so let's go through this then. Let's go through the start of the show. I was asking you about those characteristics, those traits. Wait, what did we get? The iPhone was releasing. 2007. I got it right.
June 29th. Look at, man, I tell you what, Eric.
Taco time.
I don't think we could do this show without Eric anymore.
Eric, that was fast. I mean, I was super impressed. You look at, he's Googling it and got it right. Okay, so we got the Apple phone. So let's go through those characteristics, those traits. When we talked about SPF, style, promise, and feel. So how does Apple make you feel, right? So in this case, if we talk about Apple, Terry, is Apple playful or serious?
I'm going to say playful.
Okay, I would agree with you. Would you say they're economical or are they luxury?
Oh, they're luxury. Look at the packaging.
Look at the price tag.
Yeah, true. But you don't even want to throw the box away. I'm like,
People keep them.
Exactly.
People keep those boxes. I've seen several pictures. People have their stack of iPhone boxes that are blank. They're too beautiful. I can't throw them away.
Right. It's too well done.
Okay. So are they vintage or are they modern?
Definitely modern.
Right. So are they rock and roll or are they hip hop?
I get it. They span the whole range. They're both.
They are both, and for sure. Do you think they're a truck or a sleek sedan?
Oh, definitely a sedan. Although I'm sure there are plenty of them in pickup trucks.
100% agree. But I mean, if we're thinking about it's like kind of that sleek style, right? Okay, how about last one? V8 engine or electric?
This is funny. Kim just sold her Camaro, which was very V8 looking, for a Jeep that's part electric. So I'm gonna go with her and say electric.
Electric. Yeah, I would probably say electric too. And I'm sure there are some V8 users. I'm sure Kim was rocking out to some sweet hip hop in her Camaro, no doubt about it. But probably not. Probably country, right? If we had to pick. Anyway. The point is we could go through those characteristics, those traits, and we could get a feel for Apple. And so I just used that as an example so that we could say, okay, this is true for all of us. This is true for all of our businesses. And we just kind of need to remember that and then emphasize the right points. Because when we do that, Terry, you know what happens? Our vibe creates an attraction. And this is also a cliche, but I've been saying it forever. I'm going to keep using it. And Eric, get ready to type this and pop this in those super cool notes of yours. Your vibe attracts your tribe. Now, I am not going to give up the word tribe. I'm also not going to get political here, but I love that word. I have several friends who are Native Americans who have given me permission to use the word. It means community. It means the ones I hang with. And I love that word. So your vibe attracts your tribe. Terry, does that make sense?
It does make sense, Jay. And by going through this exercise, we can get kind of bogged down in our businesses. This can get you excited about your business again.
It should seriously re-energize you, because you could kind of turn off the noise, get focused, get down to why you're doing this. And it's very healthy to do this. In fact, one of the steps in my style guide, number 9, and there's a 9-step process in the style guide. Number 9 is to repeat, to go like review this every quarter, every half year, every year at least. Because it is energizing and it does give you kind of that focus point. So I don't know. I'm pretty jacked up about it, as you know.
You know, Jay, a company I used to work for, Joan Mitchell Sportswear in Kansas City. We would have a management retreat once a year where we'd go spend 2 days away from everybody and talk about the business and how to grow the business, do this kind of exercise. And hey, if it's just you or you and your spouse, go on that retreat, go to the beach or something, but set aside time to work on these kind of things. Turn off your phone and think about who you are as a business.
Love it. I think maybe that's what Aaron was doing this weekend. They said it was a second honeymoon, but I'm pretty sure he's a tax write-off and he's working on business somewhere.
I've certainly gotten lots of messages from him over the past week.
Well, okay, so what is he doing then? If he's doing that, he's supposed to be with his wife having a hell of a time. I mean, he's at the beach, man.
I'm sure he's got some fruity rum drink in his other hand while he's texting me.
Fair enough.
On his iPhone, I think.
Of course. Yeah, Apple guys. I'm a resistor. I'm a true misfit and rebel. I've got the Samsung I have for a while and always I can't.
Is that a flip phone? Did you hold it up again?
It's a flip phone. It's a flip phone. Yeah, Terry. Funny. Okay, so since you're being so sassy, I'm going to assign you some more homework. How about that?
Okay. Wow.
So for just Terry Combs and all of his friends and anyone listening or watching right now, I would like you not right this second.
Nobody else.
Yeah, nobody else. Only the listeners, only regulators get this special homework. But don't do this right now because we have some more show to cover. But I want everyone, when they can, while they're doing this, the idea of a retreat, like you said, I want you to go to Google and type in Apple Manifesto video. Those 3 words, Apple Manifesto video. And what's going to happen is, of course, Google owns YouTube, but you're going to see a series of videos at the very top of that list. Click on that first video and watch one of the best ads ever ever created or produced. And it's often now called the Apple Manifesto, by the way. It's also sometimes referred to as Here's to the Crazy Ones. But the actual title of the ad was the Think Different ad. And it's an Apple ad. It's about a minute long. It's amazing. And the reason I want you to listen to that first one is because somebody took Steve Jobs having quoted that ad and overlaid his voice over it. Because some people may not know this, but the original ad was the voiceover narration was done by Richard Dreyfuss, the actor. So with that first one at the top, when you go to Apple Manifesto Video and you look at that first ad and you watch the Here's to the Crazy Ones, you'll actually hear Steve Jobs. And you remember it, Terry, it's the one where he says, here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones that see things differently. And then they flash up, pictures of trailblazers, these true renegades that were pioneers. And it's inspirational, man. I mean, when you see that and you're just like, I get goosebumps thinking about it right now. It's one of the greatest ads ever written. And it just gets me jacked up about my branding. We are misfits. It's his manifesto. It's Apple's manifesto. And they celebrate the genius. It's so cool. You've seen it, right?
I don't know that I have, but it sounds familiar, but I don't know. And you say Richard Dreyfuss, and I get these pictures in my head whenever I hear things.
Don't go to Jaws.
I was totally going to say we need a bigger boat.
I knew you were going to go to Jaws.
I could have gone to American Graffiti, but too many of our listeners would be like, "What? What's American Graffiti?"
Whoa, that's now you're going to the Wayback Machine.
I think Dreyfuss was like 18 in that movie, so
it's probably true. Well, anyway, so then if you haven't or you don't remember it, it's not in the forefront. That's your homework assignment. And to all of the regulators, go check it out. You'll be inspired. And I think when you see that, it gives us a benchmark. It gives us a view. We're not going to copy what Apple is. We're not going to say what Apple said, but it inspires us to think, okay, we are different, and we're different by design. And remember that when I defined the word style, we used the word distinctive. And distinctive is special. It's rare, and that's hard to be when you're you say, I'm just going to pick, I'm in tiny town, Iowa. And you say, but you don't understand, Jay. It's different here. I'm calling BS. You need to figure out your brand. And there are buyers in your area that would pay premium if you could figure out how to connect with them. And branding is the bridge to that connection. So anyway. Don't get me started. I'll start rant. That's my rant. That's my soapbox.
Well, I was telling the story just recently on here about a gentleman saying, in my town, you can't get more than $15 for a direct-to-garment shirt. And I'm looking at his badge. I'm like, you live in Columbus, Ohio. And he goes, right. And I'm like, and he goes, yep, can't get more than $15. I said, you live in the largest city in Ohio? I do. I'm like, man, you are talking to the wrong people if you can only get $15 for a direct-to-garment. That's all I can say to you. So.
Yeah, you were being polite. I would have just been like, I would have had a throwdown right then and there. That's funny. Anyway. It's always interesting. It's about perspective, and so, if that's his world, then guess what? He needs to expand it. He needs to be inspired. He needs to work on his brand manifesto, right?
and believe in what he's selling. That a little more than, I'm thinking that he values what he does at $15, not his customer valuing it at $15. And then it creates that circle of $15 selling and $15 buying.
Yeah. Imagine your limited beliefs costing you 50% of your profit. Just what you think. Imagine that. Just the way you think is costing you 50% profit. So if you could change the way you think and focus on better branding and create kind of a better purpose for your business, then you can find the people who want to buy from you because of the way they make you feel and the way you make them feel. There's a connection there, and they can't wait to spend $28 for a customized, personalized, kick-ass Suns t-shirt that might have my name on the back because I can bootleg t-shirts. But I'm kidding aside. But seriously, doing that type of work, it's more rewarding and it's more profitable.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
anyway, sorry we got off on a tangent there, Eric. Eric's like, you guys, time 8:40. Ah, okay. You guys always go over. You and Aaron always go over.
We're lucky to be done in 90 minutes for our 60-minute show. So
Well, we've got more to cover, but we're not going that long. So Terry, but all joking aside, Mr. Combs, do I have time to ask you one more question?
oh my gosh, you're making me work today. Yes, ask away.
We have time. So you perfectly answered the Apple question. Like I asked you about a consumer brand or a retail brand or somebody, and you said Apple. So now I want to get a little more focused. I'm gonna push you a little more, Mr. Combs. Let's talk about our own industry. Let's talk about from within our industry. Who are some great brands that you think of that do a great job with their branding, their SPF, their style, their purpose and promise, and their feel? Maybe it's just great branding overall, but who do you think of within our industry?
It's obviously two regular guys.
Duh.
All right. I'm gonna
Top of the list, 2RG.
About 10 minutes for me is a massive warehouse for Sanmar. All Made Apparel is
I love
a brand that I hear all the time.
Okay, I would agree with those. Anybody else you want to add to the list? There are probably more, but those are good. I like those.
I mean, there's Epson, brother.
Okay, yeah.
So did you see how fair I was there?
You were very fair, diplomatic, and true. I am impressed. Epson and brother do a really fair job of creating an atmosphere and do well with their branding. I would agree. I really love, though. I gotta give you credit for All Made. The fact that you said All Made, I love that one. Let's pick All Made. Okay. So Sanmar, great. You know, we could have said Equipment Zone and we didn't. We could have said Vastex or some dryer company or Rock or who knows, right? Whatever. There are a lot of great lines out there, and we probably should have dropped Eric's company in there because they're pretty hot. And it's Eric, duh. So shout out. I think
you flashed it up on the screen anyway. And no,
I would if I were him.
He has all the control.
It's kind of tricky that way. It's not a lot we can do except run our mouths.
And he's never turned my microphone off once, although he should have.
You mean he can do that now? You tell me?
Oh yeah. Oh
no. Okay, so let's keep it PG. Family values.
He's the podcast god right now. So
he's all control, all powerful E-Rich. Okay, so let's talk about All Made. What makes All Made so memorable to you, Terry? If we say All Made's memorable. All Made does a great job with their branding. Why? What do you remember about them?
Well, probably me from a little different angle because Ryan Moore came on Two Regular Guys a couple of years ago to tell the story of in Haiti about making the shirts and all that kind of thing. Plus, Mel Lay has who runs All Made now has been on the show many times, and I talk about Mel all the time in my classes about the way she developed her screen printing business through social media. So, little different angle, I guess.
No, but those are good. You have a connection. You have a personal connection with two of the founders because Mel was one of the founders, and so you have that great feeling. And Ryan did a wonderful job. I mean, talk about a purpose. Talk about having a manifesto. I would encourage all of you to go check out All Made's branding again. Not to buy any shirts, but just see what they're doing and recognize the commitments that they've made. Yes, they're selling apparel. Yes, they're selling T-shirts, but they're doing way more than that. They're literally trying to change the world. They are literally trying to change it.
Absolutely. So, Jay, what do you remember, or what do you think of when I say All Made Apparel?
I think of a killer tri-blend T-shirt that has 6 to 8 water bottles that have been recycled, repurposed, and are now inside my shirt. I think of taking over a facility in Haiti and paying people a living wage in Haiti. And educating those folks and feeding those folks in Haiti. So whether it's in Central America or Haiti, I think of just the sustainability of it. And I think that they had a purpose and a mission, and they put it right on their website. So you've got this amazing circular loop of making a difference. And so the word that I think of the most is the word change. They're trying to change our perception. one t-shirt at a time. And if you look at their website, you're going to see the word impact. And that's what they're doing. They're making an impact on us as consumers, on us as screen printers, and then even the supply chain back. So it's so impressive. I hate being such a fanboy and gushing, because every time I can just see Ryan Moore kind of chuckling, but he's done an amazing job, as have all of the founders. And how smart and brilliant was it that Sanmar was able to work out a deal? I have no idea what they did or how they did it, but good on them. Good on all of them. It's fantastic. So yeah, I'm all in on All Made. Fantastic. Great branding.
Jay, I was talking to Mel Lay this is several months ago, and I said, hey, I got to tell you this. I had a customer call me yesterday and said, hey, how well do these DTG printers print on those those water bottle shirts? And I'm like, you mean the All Made apparel? Yeah, All Made, that one. And Mel's like, oh my God, I'm going to start using that. I'm going to start calling it the water bottle shirt.
That's so great. I love that story. And thanks for sharing it.
All right. Well, hey, Jay, we are getting close to the end. We got a little bit more time, but thanks for coming on and sharing your insights on branding. And I think everybody's going to remember SPF now. I'll be thinking about it later today in my pool, because
you'll be by the pool.
It is going to be. It's only going to be 115 today, Jay.
It was
107. I got into my pool yesterday, and it felt like getting into a nice bath, and that little floating thermometer came by and I picked it up. 90. My pool is 90 degrees.
Oh,
so
that's almost a bath at that point, isn't it?
There's no tiptoeing to get in. So, but SPF, style, promise, feel. Don't forget Jay's offer of the first 3 listeners are going to get with their manifesto to us, info@tworegularguys.com. You're going to get a free copy of Jay's Your Style Guide, valued at $300. And everybody else that sends in their manifesto, and hey, maybe it's going to be written on a junior yellow legal pad, and you take a picture of it.
Yes, love it.
I mean, for me, Jay, people would go, "Oh yeah, that's Terry Combs." It's on a yellow legal pad. So I mean, I was at ThreadX one time, and one of the ThreadX people came over and put down a yellow legal pad in front of me and said, "You'll probably be needing this." And I thought, that's just from personal branding.
Yeah, it is totally it is. I love it.
So,
great story.
So everybody that sends in their manifesto after the first 3, 50% off on Your Style Guide, and for inspiration, we'll go watch everybody should go watch the Apple Think Different ad as well.
Please
so
do. You'll love it.
So Jay, before we go on though, how can people find you?
Oh, me. Well, I'm a big LinkedIn fan. So easiest way to find me is through LinkedIn. Connect with me there, please. Send me an invite. Check me out. That's where I do most of my professional business networking. But also you could go to jaybusselle.com, my name, JAYBUSSELLE.com. That's actually where you go to see all the info for Style Guide, jaybusselle.com. So either one of those locations. How
about your podcast?
Well, yeah. So some of you may know this. I've been on the show, and we've had Terry and Aaron on our show. So we also have the Tacos with Jay and Jeff show. So if you want to see any past episodes, you can go to freepromotips.com. Jeff Solomon's been in the publishing side of promo for probably the better part of 15 years. And he and I started a silly show called Tacos with Jay and Jeff. And it's focused exclusively for promo peeps and apparel geeks. And it's all about marketing. We're trying to catch great people doing great marketing and then put the spotlight on what they did. So we'd love to have you watch those shows.
But now everybody that's on the show has a taco, but you make us wait till the end to take a bite of our taco.
I know, because Terry, here we've learned through really important first-hand experience that when you have a mouthful of taco, it's not that appealing to then try to do
not that great of a podcast. I got you. Now, when Aaron and I were your guests, we brought wings. And unlike you, we ate our wings throughout the show.
you did indeed, and I said, hey, let's let them roll the way they roll. That's their brand, that's their style. They want to have blue cheese dripping off their chin. If that's what they want to do, hey, we're just lucky to have them.
Aaron is a ranch person. It's an affront to God, but. Sorry if I offended anyone.
No, it's all right.
You're
not going to change now. You're not sorry.
I'm not sorry. All right. Well, Jay, something else that you agreed to do was 5 things. So, Eric, can you play the intro for us?
There's music.
All right, Jay, you are on, my friend.
I thought that you had that little music.
we're luxury, man. We're not a comedy podcast. We're a luxury podcast.
We're definitely economy. That's so great. Okay. 5 things. I want my 5 things to be about LinkedIn. As I said, I'm kind of a LinkedIn guy. I do some training on LinkedIn. It's my favorite tool specifically for apparel decorators. So 5 things. Number 1, be a resource, not a resume. So these are the 5 things that you can do to fix your profile. Because a lot of people are like, yeah, I was on there a couple of years ago. I haven't done anything since. Okay, you've watched this show. Now it's time to be inspired and do this. It's not a resume. It's a resource. So nobody wants or cares that you had a paper route when you were 12 or that you worked at the grocery store when you were 16 or that, that all of that really, really old experience. We honestly don't care about it. What we do care about is how can you help me build my business? So if a prospect or a customer who's looking for social proof finds you on LinkedIn, they want to find a resource, not a resume. That was number 1. Number 2, your background. Make sure you have one. If you have those 3 shades of gray, that's a fail. You could do better. It's prime real estate. So update your background. Please don't just make it a bullet point list of all of the things you think you can print on. That's not cool. Do something fun. Talk to a marketing expert. Talk to someone who's got some skills at this. And take advantage of that prime real estate. It's the first thing people see is that big background or banner, if you want to call it that. Number 3, your profile photo. Make sure it's current. Something within the last couple of years, 3 years maybe. Make sure it's not a logo, okay? You can have a business page for your brand, for your business, but your personal profile should be a personal picture of you. I'm not a fan of cartoons and emojis. I'm okay if you're a little silly, because if that's really you and that's really your brand, that's fine. But what we want to see is happy, smiling people in their natural happy state, like Terry Combs. No weirdo cropped photos of your ex-husband or ex-wife. That's always kind of weird. No cropped photos from a wedding. Just take a good selfie. Go to someplace with a friend and say, I need a great picture for my profile. Will you please take one? So update that photo. That's number 3. Number 4 is your headline, Terry. Terry Combs, your headline. Now, I know you have a journal degree, right? Is it journal, writing in journals, or is it journalism? I always forget.
It is journalism.
Journalism. And it's from Ohio State, right?
Oh, you're hurting me, man. Ohio University, not Zero State.
Sorry. They're all the same. They're all the same in Ohio, right?
Whatever. Arizona State. Right?
It's all the same. NAU, ASU, I don't know, whatever. Okay, sorry. I was a shot at Terry. I had to take that shot. Your headline, okay? And if you have some journalistic instincts, this is a headline. It's not the title to your job. And it will be that little description under your photo. If you don't do anything, LinkedIn will drop in the default title from your current job. Don't be that dull. We're rebels. We're renegades, right? Be more creative.
We're garment decorators.
That's right. We're crazy. Who else would do this for a business, for a lifestyle? It's called a headline, which means like if it were a magazine, right? Or a periodical. Remember the days of newspapers where they had a big, bold headline? That's supposed to hook you in. It's the hook. So tell me why you're different. Tell me why you're a misfit or a rebel or a troublemaker. Then I'll want to read the rest of your profile, which takes me to number 5, the last one of my 5 things, your about section. First of all, turn it on. A lot of people don't even know it's there. It's there. Go into your profile and turn on your about section. This is where you could put your manifesto, Terry. This is where you could tell the world what you're all about, why you're different. And the point of this is so that people will go, damn, I want to know that guy. I want to know that gal. That's the whole point of the about section. I can't wait to meet this person in person, because this is a connection I want. This is somebody that I want in my life. This is really important stuff. You might have a little background story on why you got started. You might talk about some of the challenges you've overcome. You might share some of that. It's up to you. I just want to make sure again that I emphasize this. It's not a resume. It's a resource. So there's a high probability that future clients are going to judge you on the resources. And so tell me why you're extraordinary. Don't just say, here's what I did, here's what I did, here's what I did, because now you've just created a comparison list. So anyway, those are my 5 things.
I love it. Most enthusiastic presentation of 5 things of all time. So you win the award, my friend.
Do I win the award? I got the taco?
You win the gold taco.
The golden delicious taco.
All right. Well, let's talk a little bit. And by the way, Aaron, we're going to end right on time. So in your face.
Boom.
Okay, so a couple of things that I have coming up. My complete screen printing business course here at Workhorse Products in Phoenix will be July 10th and 11th. I think it's going to cool off by then. My next class in Chicago at Atlas Screen Supply will be August 21st and 22nd. I'm going right back to Chicago the next weekend. I'm going to be at the DAX Chicagoland down in Tinley Park. That's going to be August 27th. I'm going to be doing a presentation called Am I Doing This Right? Pro Tips for Screen Printing. And there's going to be some hands-on. It's going to be a 4-hour session. So everybody's going to go home with the t-shirt they printed. And thanks to my friends over at Atlas Screen Supply for putting a little shop together for me to have there at the DAX show. And you can find out about the DAX show at daxshow.com. It's singular, DAX show, DAX. And watch for my upcoming events on terrycombs.com. And Aaron has coming up on June 23rd at 4 p.m. Center of the Universe time. He actually typed that in there. Our success group is presenting Why You Must Have a Business Plan. We talked about this a little earlier. Don't forget to check out the VIP webinar access for only $9, which includes participation in a live video question and answer, a full business plan template, and a recorded version of the webinar. Aaron also will be teaching at the upcoming Applique Getaway, the greatest name for an event of all time. That will be July 23rd through 25th. On Friday the 23rd, Aaron's going to be doing Going from Hobby to Business, 5 Keys to Success. And on Saturday the 24th, he'll be presenting Conquer Fear and Live to Tell About It. So you can sign up for that, get more information. Yeah, very, very cool at the applicationgetaway.com. Or I'm sorry, appliquegetaway.com. How about you, Jay? What do you have coming up?
A few things. Thank you for inviting me on the show, first of all. So a big thank you to you and Aaron and Eric. Appreciate it. I'll be in Chicago at the ASI show, July 13th through the 15th, traveling to my first industry show. Okay. I call that since BC, right? BC as in before COVID.
Nice.
So I have 4 training sessions at the ASI show. 2 will be on LinkedIn. Love to see some promo and apparel peeps there. I'll also be speaking at the Impressions Expo show in Fort Worth, September 10th through the 12th. I'll also be a presenter at the Shirt Lab Live. There's an event right after the Impression show in Fort Worth with Jeffrey Gittimer, Tom Rowan, Marshall Atkinson, and Eric Campbell. Boom! Now I'm going. Fort Worth, right after that show, September 12th through the 14th. And
that's got to be the first live event they've had for a while, right?
It is. Yeah, I think in fact it's probably going to be a hybrid event. They're going to do live, and for those who can't travel or don't want to yet, so the people. I'm ready to go. I don't know about you, but I'm like,
yeah. The hybrid event is the future. So
the hybrid event, yeah. Except at my family, my wife's already packed my bags twice. I think there's a message there.
I'm just doing this from my office. I don't need my luggage.
What? It's the 2 regular guys. Okay. So, and let me tell you a little bit about Eric. Speaking of Eric Campbell, the one and only, Eric has this little thing called The Half. On today, the embroidery nerds, Jeff Fuller, filling in for Aaron. So tune in to see who gets cut. I don't know what that means. Join Eric on his show at 2:30 Mountain Time, and it's called The Take Up. So I've seen it. It's pretty damn great. Today's another design breakdown series. So I would check it out. Talks about mascots, talks about multipass satins. Who doesn't want to know more about multipass satins? Also, Eric's Understanding Emblems, Digitizing Production Styles and Sales is now available. Sorry. I'm not good at this. No wonder Aaron does this. It's now available as a recording. So check it out at decorators.education. Digitizing Production Styles and Sales. It's now available as a recording. And if you didn't know this, Eric is doing workshops at DAX, all of the DAX shows. He'll also be appearing at the Impressions Expo show with me. He'll also be at Specialty Thread. What is that? Specialty Thread Design, Digitizing Marketing. Is that the name of the session? Oh, it is. So he's appearing there. He's with me at the other show, the Shirt Lab show. Dude, Eric's a rock star. I don't know if people know this, and they probably do. He's awesome. If you haven't had a chance to sit in on one of his sessions, strongly recommend you do. So that's Eric's schedule. Did I blow it?
You did a great job, man.
Woo! I was feeling the pressure. I didn't want to mess it up, and I did.
And we're right on time. It's 9:00 out here in Arizona, where we do not celebrate the daylight savings time.
We are not moving our clocks. No way. Don't move those clocks. Resist. Be a rebel. Troublemaker.
Exactly. All right. Well, we have come to the end of another show. And thanks again for sitting behind Aaron's microphone today. It's been awesome. I knew it would be. You and I, as I said before, have done lots of presentations before. So
thank you.
I knew it would be fun and exciting. And
it has been a blast. I appreciate it. I want to say thank you again. Thanks to everyone who tuned in today. I can't give you guys enough credit for an amazing podcast and the series. What is this like the 12th or 13th year you guys have been doing this now? I mean,
it's the ninth year, 12th or 13th.
I knew it was 9. It feels like forever. I mean that in the greatest way possible, that you are an asset to our industry. Terry Combs, Aaron Montgomery, and Eric Campbell. So well done, gentlemen. It's been my pleasure to be here today.
All right. And speaking of Eric, I want to thank him for keeping the gears greased and this show running smoothly. You put me and Eric through the paces today, Jay.
Hey, that's what I do. That's what I do. But guess what? There's always next week, right? And next week, the show is TBA, to be announced. Terry and Aaron will keep you updated.
Exactly. So until then, I'm Terry Combs. He's Jay Busselle, sitting in for Aaron Montgomery.
And we're the 2 regular guys.
Here we go. We're out.
Awesome.
Thank you for listening to Two Regular Guys. Check out our website at tworegularguys.com. That's the number 2, regularguys.com. You can also interact with us over at our Facebook page, facebook.com/tworegularguys, or send us a tweet, twitter.com/tworegularguys. And we have a YouTube page. You can find all that from our website, tworegularguys.com. Thanks for tuning in, and we look forward to spending some time with you again next week.